that? A large dragon with a purple body appeared. Cyan exclaimed, a devil dragon? Its roar echoed around them. Karen confirmed, no. It's still a baby, I guess he also smelled you. Cyan smiled maliciously, thinking, it doesn't matter why the dragon is here. Demonic sword manifest. Cyan and Karen's bodies have merged. What matters is that I catch that thing. With a confident and intimidating face, he declared, you have to catch that drag, no you have to eat it. On another side of the camp, a monster was attacked by several golden lightning bolts. The king asked, is this the last one, Beliarth? Beliarth replied, yes, it seems so. The king asked, what about the princess and your son? Beliarth replied, I can't find their traces past the tent. I'm sorry. The king said, it's fine. I'm sure you're worried about your son too. Beliarth trusts in Cyan and says, there's no need to worry about him. What matters right now is the princess. The king evaluates, that's cold, and thinks, is he really your son? Beliarth affirms, a bird should know to watch out for himself. At this moment, someone comes to report, Your Majesty. We've found Her Highness. The king asks, are you sure? Immediately after, Orin rushes to call the king. The king inquires about her condition. Are you hurt anywhere? Orin, worried, says, hurry. We need to save him. Save who? Cyan. Because of me, he's. The king calms her down and asks, calm down and tell me what's going on. Beliarth steps forward and asks, you're Cyan's maid, are you not? Yes, I am, your grace. With a terrifyingly dark face, Beliarth says, you tell me. Has something happened to Cyan? Emily, frightened, thinks, I'm scared. I've never seen the Duke look so scary before. Her whole body trembling, she stutters, the young master acted as bait. In order to give us time to run away. Hearing this, Beliarth's eyes sharpen as he looks at Emily. The royal soldier next to them immediately says, I remember where he was last. If you just give me an order, I will go with others to save the young master. The king urges, what are you waiting for, Beliarth? Hurry. But contrary to everyone's thoughts, Beliarth remains silent for a moment and says, we are not doing that. People are puzzled by his decision. The king asks again, Beliarth, are you serious? Beliarth calmly says, we must take care of this situation first. If these camps fall, the demonic beasts will invade the empire. We must reconstruct the place right away. That is the only way to prevent more deaths. Emily, terrified but still speaks up, then what about the young master? Beliarth says coldly, he's done his duty by helping the princess evacuate. That is what it's like to be a vert. Hearing these words, the princess wonders, why? Just, why? No, because of me again. Suddenly, a cry from above interrupts the conversation. Orin hears and wonders, this cry? That sound? A dragon? A dragon flies above them at this moment. Shortly after, she discovers the image of Cyan clinging to the dragon's leg. Cyan, with a foolish expression and tears streaming down his face, is trying to cling to the dragon's leg. Dragons, creatures that are the closest to the creator. They are very rare and noble creatures. Inferior beings like humans dare not easily approach them. In the previous scene, after tangling with a dragon, Cyan found himself clinging to its leg somehow. However, judging by Cyan's expression, he wasn't comfortable. In his heart, he thought, it's an honor to come across such a high and mighty creature, but why did it have to fly over the very people that I can't be seen by? The dragon flew over the camp, right above Erin's head. She worriedly called out Cyan's name. The king exclaimed, unbelievable, a dragon, though, Beliarth, why is your son on top of a dragon? What are you doing? Aren't you going to save him? Beliarth, with a worried expression, remained silent, contemplating what was happening to Cyan. Cyan, now atop the dragon, struggled to hold on and not fall off. He silently cursed, damn it. All I wanted to do was drink his blood. I didn't expect this to happen. The scene shifts back shortly. With the appearance of a dragon, Cyan was very excited and merged with Karen to defeat it. You have to catch that drag. No, you have to eat it. But facing Cyan, Ben was a horde of monsters attacking him. He expressed, screw off, you mongrels. I don't have any time to waste. Immediately, Cyan used his skill. Fog Sword. Rushing Fog Store. Within seconds, his figure moved among hundreds of large monsters, cutting them into pieces. Then he landed, facing the dragon. Cyan remarked, he's definitely not a fully grown dragon. The size speaks for itself. As Cyan identified his presence, the dragon immediately shot out a large energy beam from its mouth. Facing it, Cyan expressed, oh Tilda, that's real bright. As the powerful energy approached Cyan, he swiftly dodged. Benny quickly moved closer to the dragon's head. Karam evaluated Ammon's actions. Now you're being rude. Cyan felt annoyed by the complaint. He then struck twice at the dragon's head. Karam said, "You dare spit in my face on our first meeting? Well, you can take my sword to the face then." Cyan's strikes hit the dragon's face, leaving it wounded. The dragon roared in pain, creating a burst of air pressure that pushed Cyan far away. However, this only excited Cyan more as he saw his opponent worthy. He grinned excitedly. As the dragon's horn attacked Cyan, he simply dodged aside. Then he used his skill. Swordless, 8 fluttering petals. Cyan's body fluttered through the dragon's body, leaving it with many fatal strikes. The dragon fell from the sky to the ground, surrounded by swirling dust. Cyan, standing before the dragon, remarked, "Phew, I guess I can't take on a dragon just yet. My shoulders are sore. Well, time to wrap this up." The dragon stood up, its sharp eyes fixed on Cyan. Then, its body surged, creating a powerful gust of wind that made it difficult for Cyan to stand. Cyan prepared to attack, thinking, "I won't fall for the same trick twice." Suddenly, something surprised Cyan. The massive dragon now seemed to be fleeing, its tail tucked, running away. It seemed quite sensitive to being struck by Cyan. Cyan panicked. "Bah, that lizard, he's running away. I can't let you go. Stop right there, Tilda." Without hesitation, Cyan soared into the sky, chasing after the dragon. And that's why we see the current scene. Cyan still tightly clutching the dragon's leg, thinking to himself, "I guess I used up all of my luck coming across this dragon." After that, Cyan made his decision. "Well, then, how will I take care of this situation?" At this moment, Karam appeared and asked, "What's wrong with you? Why aren't you doing anything?" Cyan responded irritably, "What do you mean? Can't you see all those people below us?" Karam, angered, retorted, "So what? If you unsheathed me, you got to do something at least." Cyan replied, "You want me to use the demonic sword with all those people watching? I'll be burned at the stake immediately if they see that." Karam complained, "Then what? Are you just gonna stay on this dragon?" Cyan, feeling annoyed, replied, "I'm thinking right now." Meanwhile, on the ground, Viliarth was concentrating on casting some kind of spell with golden swords surrounding the magic circle. Cyan recognized the spell and thought, "That's advanced 8-star magic. He's going to use the secret sword of the heavens, knowing that his son will get swept up into it too." When the time came, Viliarth cast the spell. Dozens of swords flew attacking towards the dragon. Cyan cried out, "You're really living up to your title as the continent's guardian, father." As the swords attacked the dragon, it showed no fear, maneuvering and dodging all the swords flying towards it. Cyan expressed joy, "Oh Tilda, that's right, good dragon, keep avoiding it like." Before finishing the sentence, a sword attacked from behind the dragon's blind spot, aiming straight towards Cyan. This made Cyan worried, and he expressed, I don't think you'll dodge this one." Then, the sword grazed the dragon's leg, causing Cyan to lose grip and fall freely downwards. "Damn it, Tilda, I can't believe I missed the opportunity for such a special meal," Cyan lamented. Karam angrily exclaimed, "What are you doing? Fly, are you going to kiss the ground?" Cyan disagreed, saying, "No Tilda, if I use a mist still, I'll be burned at the stake." Karam shouted, "Are you just gonna let yourself die then?" Cyan then resigned to fate, saying, "I don't know Tilda, maybe I'll even stop thinking." Suddenly, Cyan had an idea. He joyfully exclaimed, "Wait, I think there's a way." Karam speculated, "Master, you're not gonna fall in there, are you? In that shit-infested water?" Cyan replied with his choice, "What other choice do I have?" Then, Cyan fell down into the river below, none to be created from the blood of monsters. But that didn't matter because, after all, Cyan managed to save his life. In a distant place, someone sensed that something was happening. "A devil dragon flying around here? What a rare sight." Another demon behind him said, "It's a young one. Seems like it got lost and got itself into trouble." The young demon boy responded, "There must be some strong demonic beasts over there then." The red-haired demon replied, "No, it's humans who live across that border." The young demon boy speculated, "Humans? Not Tilda, there's no way a dragon lost to something like a human." Then he grew quiet. The demon next to him didn't understand his thoughts, and he asked, "Is something bothering you?" The young demon boy replied, "I can feel a very strange energy from over there. Something strange but also familiar." The red-haired demon suggested, "If you're that concerned, you can go check it out. However, please refrain from killing everything you see just because you're bored." The young demon boy irritably said, all right, I won't cause any trouble. After saying that, he immediately created wings and flew towards the cyan direction. At this point, at the position of the river of monsters, columns of bubbles of air rose. From that position, Cyan emerged from below. He tried to crawl onto the nearby ground. Once ashore, he gasped for breath. Cyan grumpily complained about his life. Fuck my life. Cyan turned to the side and asked, Karam, you alive? Karam, wet and angry, said, don't even talk to me. I am trying to decide how I should kill you right now. Cyan said, we'll clean up once we go back. Don't be so mad. Karam asked, oh, so you're gonna go back? Get it together, this is the demon realm. Cyan reassured him and said, don't worry. There's no way we'd come across a higher demon here. Suddenly, a voice interrupted their conversation. I knew it. I knew something fun would be waiting for me here. Hearing this voice shocked them. I remember this voice. The voice that is so deeply embedded in my brain that I cannot forget it no matter what. The young demon boy from earlier was now standing in front of Cyan with a fierce face asking, are you a human? That terrifying face was in front of Cyan. And Cyan affirmed the identity of that person. The demon king, Valkyrian. In the past, all those who have witnessed him said that it felt like looking at the embodiment of evil. That is what stands in front of me right now. Cyan got into a fighting stance, cursing. Damn it, why now? Valkyrian patiently said, I asked if you're human. Aren't you going to answer me? Suddenly, Valkyrion's eyes change. In the next moment, his body appeared right behind Cyan. With a deadly tone, he asked Cyan, do you want to fight me, kid? Cyan, startled, immediately swung his dagger behind. But Valkyrion disappeared and reappeared behind Cyan once again. It seemed like Cyan had reached his limit when a strand of Valkyrion's hair was cut off, but suddenly Valkyrion's face changed dramatically. Valkyrion chuckled and said, I did hear that you're a kind with infinite potential. You dared to cut my hair? It might be true. Karam then appeared, asking, seems like the wrong time, but who is that? Cyan replied to Karam with her thoughts, the Demon King. Karam, shocked, asked again, the Demon King? How the hell are you going to defeat him in the state you are in right now? Cyan responded, it's impossible. I can only try running away. At this point, Cyan was trembling, thinking, but could I survive? Against Valkyrion? Fortunately, Valkyrion had no intention of harming Cyan. He reassured her, saying, hey, relax. What am I gonna do against a little kid like you? You can calm down. Look, I'm really not going to do anything to you. We can talk with me lying down if you're so scared. Even if I'm an asshole, I won't fight kids. Cyan found this strange and wondered, what? Why is he suddenly lying down? Valkyrion chuckled and said, let me ask again. Are you human? Cyan confirmed that she was. Valkyrion then asked, how did you get here? Cyan replied, through the current of the water. Valkyrion continued, so it's your first time in the demon realm? Your aura is a bit strange, you know. Who are you? Cyan answered, a normal human. Valkyrion smirked mischievously, saying, a normal human. But it feels like you know me. Cyan, sweating nervously, denied, we've never met before. Valkyrion remained relaxed on the ground, saying, I guess that's true. I've never seen a human before either. When could you have seen me? Cyan then asked, why are you here? In her mind, she pondered that relaxed manner. Is he really the same demon king I know? Valkyrion responded, I felt a strange energy while making my rounds. Cyan wondered, making your rounds? Valkyrion confirmed, yes, as the demon king. It's given that I would watch over the lands I rule. Suddenly, Valkyrion stopped and asked Cyan again, kid, what did I just say? Cyan answered, that it's given for you to watch over the lands you rule as the demon king? Valkyrion chuckled, aren't you shocked? I'm the demon king. I knew it. You do know me from somewhere. What kind of kid in the world would react like you did? Has your mom never threatened you by saying that the demon king will take you away if you're not a good boy? Cyan doubted and questioned herself, there's no way he's the same demon king. If things go like in my past life, the demon's invasion should start soon. But this guy doesn't seem like someone who would do that. If this is his true self, then what triggered him to change? Then Cyan asked, if you're really the demon king, what is it that you wish to accomplish? Valkyrion laughed and responded, asking the demon king such a question? You're quite bold. Nothing much. I just want my people to live good lives and eat well. Though, if anyone dares to get in the way, I will kill them all. That is my duty as the demon king. At this point, Cyan started to feel fearful and thought, it was just for a moment, but I definitely felt it. The true monstrosity of the Valkyrion I knew in my past life. It's repressed right now, but some incident must have removed the chains on that side of him. I need to prevent the incident from happening. Then Mian said, Demon King, do you want to make a deal? Something will happen to you soon. Something that threatens the people you rule over. Valkyrian inquired, what are you talking about? You're not making any sense. Cyan replied, I don't know exactly what the incident is, but I am certain that it will trigger a great war between the humans and the demons. Valkyrian, with an angry expression, asked, you mean I'm going to want to take your lands? Cyan responded seriously, that's why I want to negotiate with you. Promise me that you won't start a war no matter what happens. Valkyrian said, you're making no sense. Alright, let's say that I don't start a war. What are you going to give me in return? Cyan calmly replied, I'll help you. No matter what happens to you, I'll do my best to help you. Valkyrian leaned in close and said, You know something. Then he smiled and asked, your name? Cyan answered, Cyan Bert. Valkyrian said, Alright, Cyan Bert. I promise you as the owner of the demon realm that I will not invade your land no matter what happens. Then Valkyrian created wings and flew into the sky. He looked down and said, but you better take responsibility for your own promise too. A deal is a deal, after all. Alright, that completes it. After some time, soldiers from the clan also appeared looking for Cyan. After the deal with the Demon King, the inspection team found me conveniently lying there, and I was able to get back. Then I earned the nickname, the boy who survived the Devil Dragon. We returned to an abbey in the borders of Belias that was being used as a military hospital for the time being. When Cyan woke up, the person beside him was Erin. Though we missed the moment before, it seemed Erin said something to Cyan, and he asked again to confirm. Erin said, let me repeat myself. In Cyan's mind, I thought things were resolved smoothly. Erin's face flushed, and she hesitantly said, will you? She seemed to intend to say something like, will you marry me? But suddenly stopped and said, will you be mine? This made Cyan's face look foolish because he didn't understand its meaning. He silently thought, what the hell is she saying? In the previous part, Erin seemed to intend to say something like, will you marry me? But suddenly stopped and said, will you be mine? This made Cyan's face look foolish because he didn't understand its meaning. He silently thought, what the hell is she saying? Suddenly, she realized how confusing her words were. Then, with a sad face, Erin started to shed tears and said, oh, of course. I'm an impotent princess. Cyan, in this difficult situation, thought to himself, she's really getting on my nerves. Well, I knew that she was impotent, but her attitude makes her even worse. It's obvious what's gonna happen, but I can't stop thinking about the fact that that piece of shit is somehow involved with her tragic end. Cyan had made his decision by now, and then he spoke up, you're right. You can't bring any benefit to me, or anyone for that matter as you are right now. You don't have any influence or even any etiquette. It would actually be bad for me if I were to be close to you. Cyan's words were very cutting for a vulnerable princess. Then he added, however, I'll watch you from afar, until you've developed into someone better. This statement by Cyan truly touched Erin, and she asked about the meaning of, watch me. Then Cyan tried to appear indifferent and said, yes. Don't be disappointed. Erin's emotions were truly touched, but she tried to remain composed and said, no. I get what you mean. I just have to improve enough so that you'll acknowledge me. Then she pointed at Cyan and smiled, saying, just wait and see. I don't know when, but I'm going to become so powerful you won't be able to ignore me. Cyan, seeing Erin's confidence, felt a bit puzzled but responded, I'm looking forward to it. However, he thought to himself, she cheered up real fast. She's a kid, after all. Before leaving, Erin said, one more thing. She turned back with flushed cheeks and said, thanks for being alive. Really? Cyan, with a dumbfounded expression, surely couldn't understand. At this point, the scene shifts to another location, the rear camp's outskirts of the forest. A man is moving through the snow with a cloak. When he reaches a tree stump, he looks around to see if anyone is watching. Once he confirms everything is safe, he takes out a brightly colored cube. Holding the cube, he smiles joyfully and says, not much left now. Suddenly, a voice startles him. So it was you, Reynold Crimson. As soon as the voice ends, his body freezes, unable to move. My body won't move? It's as if some invisible chains are tying me down. The person behind him is Cyan. Cyan says, a small dimension box. I guess its commercialization has yet to happen. An artifact that's imbued with a dimensional realm and enough mana to allow infinite storage. Cyan steps closer to him and asks, it was the masterpiece of the Garen Kingdom's Mage Association. wasn't it? The man's body stiffens, unable to move, only showing signs of anger. Cyan continues to inquire, I've been keeping an eye on it for a whole year. Because I felt like someone within the Empire was smuggling them. Then he takes the cubic block out of the man's hand, saying, so that's how you've been doing it. I'll be taking this. The man, powerless, can do nothing. Cyan then reads out the man's personal information, Renald Crimson, a 7-star mage knight from the Barren Kingdom. This astonishes the man greatly. Meanwhile, Mai also removes her hood, revealing herself. The man is shocked to realize that the person in front of him is Cyan Burt. He wonders why Cyan is here. Cyan, holding the cubic block, pours out everything inside, revealing body parts of monsters. Cyan tells the man, I assume you extracted the blood of demonic beast corpses, and brought them over in supply carriages that are allowed over the border. I assume there's a spy helping you in the supply department too. The man, upon hearing the accusations, immediately denies, What are you talking about? I don't know anything about that. With a calm face, Cyan asserts, you don't need to play dumb. Their blood is already being sold on the black market. The man recalls supplying hellhound blood to Alice, suspecting her betrayal. Regardless, he can't let Cyan leave. Meanwhile, Cyan is still examining the monster parts and evaluates, freshness aside, this thing's too big to eat. The man tries to use magic and wonders, I don't know how he managed to capture it. But I can move a bit now. With a crazed smile, he breaks free from Cyan's control and successfully casts a spell called Breathfire. With the intent to end Cyan's life, he directs the magic towards Cyan and attacks. As he launches the attack, he declares, the consequences of letting your guard down is death, kid. Cyan only realizes the attack at the last moment, as the magical flames engulf him before he can evade. The man then mutters, shit, I thought I was dead. So the rumors about him were true. The flames from his magic spread around. Then he calmly spoke, I lost the precious dimension box. I never expected this kind of thing to happen in the midst of transport. But suddenly, his hand was severed. Before he could realize it, his hand had detached from his body, and he cried out in pain. Surrounding him was a haze of blood. He wondered, what's this black fog? At this moment, the image of the protagonist reappeared, causing him to panic, thinking that the protagonist had died. Immediately, the protagonist rushed forward, gripping his neck tightly towards the base of a tree. The protagonist, now furious, emitted a menacing aura and began interrogating him. Choose. Tell me about the smuggling route and the spy and then die a comfortable death, the protagonist said with a terrifying face, or suffer a death so tragic that even Satan would pray for you. And then the scene shifted to a bustling area. People were trading goods fervently. This place was Vely's western border trading post. At this moment, two men greeted each other. Then they brought out their goods for the other to see. 2 boxes this time? We'll be able to take a bit more this time. I wonder how much is in this box, Tilda? Then he opened the next crate. But what was inside made both of them terrified. Thank you all for watching our video today. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications so you won't miss any future uploads. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below about what you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.